Hello, and welcome to the Amulet D20 Twitch break, where Mass from BonkTable talks about the various lists that are at Amulet D20. So, first list we have here is from Arkadiusz. I've actually met and played Arkadiusz before. He's a fantastic player. Met him at Hios. Really fun to play. Very solid player. Has a really good core understanding of the rules. He is an Old Dominion player, and he's brought us another Old Dominion list. He is playing as Ziliarch Warlord. He's got a couple upgrades. He's got the Vexil of the Loss, Curus, there we go, has the Shadow. What these do, off the top of my head, I could not tell you. So we're going to edit that, and I'll tell you when I figure it out. So Vexil of the Loss will give him forward first, and the Curus will give him evasion +1 to his regiment. That's actually pretty good. Most likely, he is going to be in his unit of Varangian. He's got 4 of them. Going up to E2 is just going to keep him alive a little longer, especially if there's any smite or lots of cleave. Arkadiusz might be watching out for the addition of a lot of cleave. Like, he's hard in 1 on his Varangian Guard, and that would normally go to D2, but if someone's playing city-states with the new Thirians that are wound 7, he's got to watch out for that. There's also helps him into piercing shot from Nords, so he's probably looking for it in that way. His warband is also double centaur Protimi, what are the melee centaurs. They're quite quick. They are medium, so they can score. I find their defensive stats to be wanting. Their D2 with its shield. They only have 4 wounds, so they kind of die to chip damage. Any shooting really likes to eat these guys up. However, they do have 5 attacks with Cleave 1 and Clash 2. When they do the charge, they're going to get to Clash 3, which should be decent enough. Like 150 points, they're pretty good. Arkadiusz has also used his Warlord Supremacy on his regiments to do a March Charge Clash if he needs the extra distance, so he can actually threat project very far with the Centaurs because of their speed 8. And especially if he's in tier 2 or tier 3 of his Dark Power, that Brutal 2 in the impacts +2 is going to come into a huge effect there. So, you know, getting 4 impacts per guy with Brutal 1, and then clashing on 5s, always Inspire on 3, or, you know, with his 5 attacks on his Clash of 3 with the Inspire. It can do a lot of work. It can threat really far away. It allows him to set up. What is really, really nice, really interesting, and if for some reason someone is within charge clash range, he can just do that double attack with the double clash. Which just, yeah, you don't want to eat one of those. So it's kind of, you got to play like a threat game into this warband to not get double clash, but also be careful because it does allow the Auxiliarch warband to just threat project really far away. Varangian Guard, kind of covered them. They're pretty good. He needs to watch out they don't get bogged down or anything, but they are a really good hammer in his list with their Cleave 2 going up to Cleave 3 with Linebreaker. Like, they'll just kind of eat stuff. I would say the Varangian Guard's really only weakness is their 5 attacks. With this like level of cleave output, you want more attacks, and you for sure want them to be inspiring so they can get up to Clash 4. If there's any dread, because the auto inspire gets ignored by dread, you got to watch out for that. So it's just maximizing your hits, and if he can actually get into the double clash with the supremacy, he'll be in a really good spot with that warband. Archimandrite, you know, this guy's just generating dark power. He heals stuff back from my recall with the Archimandrite in his spells. I don't recall if he will actually generate the dark power himself. I think that's more so for the Hero Deacon. I can double check his spells just to find out. Nope, that's an attack spell. He can increase the scale or the tier of dark power on a unit and give Aura of Death, and he can heal. So he's gonna be pretty nice healing up that Varangian block. He's going to be pretty nice also getting these 2 units of Morai up as well. I don't believe Arkadiusz has a Hero Deacon in this list, so his Dark Power generation is going to be kind of scald. The Thoraketer has the same spells as the Archimandrite, because the Thoraketer is basically an Archimandrite on a Pope Mobile. We'll get to him, don't you worry, that thing's quite fun. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Archimandrite was showing up in the Cultists, getting on the table sooner. He also has another unit of Legionnaires. I think he's running 4 units of Legionnaires. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 units of Legionnaries. That's quite a bit of Legionnaries. So I think his plan to make up for the Hero Deacon not generating dark power is to actually have the Legionaries be used as sacrificing tools. He has enough of them, but then it comes a question of, is it an overcommitment of Legionaries to generate this dark power, and could one of the Legionaries or two of them be turned into, you know, something else? I don't know, what is it? There is... Why can't I remember what these guys are called? They have the bunch of attacks. Athanatoi. There we go. They are the Athanatoi. So could, like, Tunes Legionaries become Athanatoi, get more work out of the list kind of thing. He does have 2 units of Morai. Morai did change where they now need to use their Memory of Old to cast their movement spells. So, you know, in the first tier of Dark Power, they're not going to be able to do it. However, the Archimandrite will be able to give them a tier increase. So at least one of these units is going to be able to use their Memory of Old, teleport, you know, charge clash, stuff like that. The Thoric Eater also has that. He is the heavy, so he will be coming on turn 3. So if Arkadiusz is taking his time and setting himself up well with his Legionaries to, like, kind of build a wall and sacrifice them so that the other things in his list that do a lot of work can get on there and do a bunch of damage, the Thoric Eater will also help out with that Dark Tower pool tier going up on a unit. But it just kind of seems like he's really just sacrificing Legionaries just off the top of this list to generate enough power to get into his various tiers. Hopefully using the Archimandrite and the Thoric Eater to heal on his, or like heal up his key units, Morai, Varangian Guard. I would sacrifice the Centaurs, but if there's nothing else to heal, I would for sure heal them. Like, they're still going to do good work. Sometimes you'd probably heal a Legionary unit if there was, like, really nothing else to do. So yeah, let's talk about the Thoric Eater, or the OK Raider. This thing is, we joke around and call it the Pope Mobile, because you got an Archimandrite just on top of this thing just going downtown. It can't score, but it is 6 stands for the purpose of contesting. It's pre-7. It's got some really good spells. It's got an offensive spell. It's got a Healy spell. It's got an Aura of Death spell. It's got something else spell. You know, it's got the 4. So this guy is also kind of annoying to kill. It's D3 with 30 wounds, evasion 1. It's not taking any resolve. It does have its draw events where it can, like, sacrifice 3 wounds to gain trample +4. So it goes to the trample 12. It can sacrifice 3 wounds to give +2 charge and generate 1 dark power for every 2 enemy stands it destroys during its activation. It's pretty good. Or it can suffer 3 wounds to target enemy regiment within 12 rerolls morale tests. The thing about the wounds and the draw event is that the Thoric Eater is actually more valuable as a massive brick, as a massive wound sponge, and to take damage away from the rest of your army and force it onto the Thoric Eater. Because the Thoric Eater is not scoring, it's never going to be stuck on a zone. Like, what tends to happen with this thing is it just runs up, hammers its way through stuff, so it'll charge, do some impacts, do its clash. It's got 15 attacks on clash 2, it inspires to 3, pretty decent. It's then going to spell cast its, I believe, Haziel's Touch. What's its attack spell? We can double check that if I'm getting the names right. Nope, that's the heal. Is it actually the heal? Jesus. Unholy Blasphemy. There we go. Unholy Blasphemy. On pre-7, that's going to be a lot of hits with the 2 and 3 and their AP 1. So then it's doing, what is it? Normal damage, got the AP, then it's doing Resolve, and because it's in contact with the Thoric Eater, this thing is not terrifying? You gotta be kidding me. How is the Thoric Eater not terrifying? I thought all of Old Dominion stuff. This thing is actually not terrifying. Wow, look at that. Well, you're not going to get that bonus, but anyway. It's still going to do Resolve damage, and then you're going to take Tramplate. So it has actually a pretty good offensive profile on it through all its various and different ways it does things. With that, it also gets to perform a free spell action, so, you know, it's going to March, Charge, Cast, or if it's stuck in combat with a big brick, it's going, and it you know, unless it's Dark Power Tier 3, it's just going to attack. So it's going to double cast, so maybe it'll heal somebody else and do some damage. Maybe it'll cast Aura of Death on itself if the thing it's engaged with hasn't activated yet, because why the hell not? It's actually just a really good staller slash push piece. You're never going to use it to score because it can't score, but what you should be doing is pairing it up with a Legionary to follow behind it, to sit on a zone and score that zone as the Thorkeeter, does its whole Pope walk across the table. Can it die? It sure can die. If your opponent sets up for it and ready to receive the Thorkeeter into his list, they can kind of trap it and just kind of bog it down and kill it. Even though it is 30 wounds, and I believe the intent of the design was to spend wounds to heal, but because of such a high wound cost, it's just better to hold off on those wounds and let it be used as a sponge. Once it gets bogged down with enough things, it just can't kind of fight its way out, and it'll just start taking too much damage from multiple sources and fall apart. However, hopefully the rest of your list will come in and support it. Don't leave it by itself. Have some things around it. The Centaurs are actually pretty good at that due to their speed. They can cover its flanks really well, either protecting it or clearing it off after it's gone in and something else has hit it. And because it's 30 wounds and its defensive stats, it's going to be around for a while. Overall, I like Arkadiusz's list. I think he's going to do pretty well at Amulet D20. He's got some good things in here. The Legionaries, I see where he's going there with it, to like sacrifice them so that he can generate Dark Power because he doesn't have a Hero Deacon. Morai are still really good. Cultists, the Archimandrite, just to get them on the table turn 1. And then the Ziliarch's Warband to threat project and have a really big hammer at the end there with the Varangian Guard. But yeah, anyway, I like it. Let's get on to the next list.